Welcome to MrKhanMaths. In this video, I will be looking at dividing a whole number by a decimal. Now, if you have not already watched my video on short division, I would highly recommend you to do so as it will help you with this topic. So let's go straight into it. Now, on the bottom of our screen, we have our steps to success, which will help us answer the question. So example 1, we have 7 divided by 0.2. So our dividend is 7 and our divisor is 0.2. So to break down my steps to success, I am aiming to rewrite this question so we are dividing a whole number by a whole number. So I can see in example 1, I have my divisor of 0.2 and I want to get this to a whole number. So I'm going to multiply this by a power of 10, which basically means multiplying by either 10, 100 or 1000. So the easiest way to think about this is, what do I multiply 0.2 by to get to the smallest number it could possibly be, which is the number 2? So I'm going to look at my decimal point and ask myself, how many places do I have to move it in order to get it to the number 2? And I can see I'm going to move it one place to the right. So that means I'm multiplying it by 10. So if I multiply my 0.2 by 10, I have to do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to multiply 7 by 10. So that is step 1 complete. I'm now going to move on to step 2, which is to rewrite the question. So my new question is going to be 70 divided by 2. Once step 2 is complete, I'm now going to divide. And when it comes to division, I'm going to use my short division method, which is my bust up. So I'm going to draw my bust up, and on the inside, I will put the number 70, which is my dividend. And on the outside, I will put my divisor of the number 2. I'm going to ask myself, how many 2's are there in 7? And the answer is 3, with a remainder of 1. Next, I'm going to ask myself, how many 2's are there in 10? And the answer is 5. So there we have it. 70 divided by 2 is 35. And this is the same answer for 7 divided by 0.2, which is also 35. Now moving on to example 2, 12 divided by 0.03. Now I'm going to use my same steps to success to get my answer for this particular question. So I'm going to do the first step, which is to multiply by a power of 10. Now the aim is to try and get both numbers to be whole numbers. So I can see I have a decimal number, which is my 0.03. So in order to get it to the smallest whole number it could be, I'm going to multiply it by 100. So I'm going to move my decimal place 2 places to the right. So if I multiply by 100, it gives me the number 3. So if I multiply my 0.03 by 100, I have to also multiply my number 12 by 100. So that is step 1 complete. Now moving on to step 2, I'm going to rewrite the question. So 12 times 100 is 1200 divided by, and 0.03 times 100 is 3. And that is step 2 complete. Now step 3, I'm going to divide. Again, I'm going to use my bust up method. So I'm going to draw my bust up. And on the inside, I have 1200, which is my dividend. And on the outside, I have my divisor of 3. So I'm going to ask myself, how many 3 is going to 1? And the answer is 0. So I'm going to carry over my 1 to the next digit. How many 3's are there in 12? And the answer is 4. How many 3's are there in 0? Which is 0. And then finally, how many 3's are there in the final 0? Which is 0. So there we have it. The answer to 12 divided by 0.03 is the same as the answer as 1200 divided by 3, which is 400. Now on to my final example. 132 divided by 0.11. I'm going to use the same step to success as I have done so for my previous two examples. So I want to convert 0.11 to the smallest whole number it could be. And I'm going to check that I have to multiply it by 100. So 0.11 will become 11. So therefore, that means I'm going to multiply my 132 by 100 also. So now that step 1 is complete, I move on to step 2, which is to rewrite the question. So I have 13,200 divided by 11. I'm going to go on to my final step, which is to use my bus stop. I have 13,200 as my dividend and 11 as my divisor. So how many 11s are there in 1, which is 0? So I cross that out and carry the 1 over. How many 11s are there in 13? And it's 1 with a remainder of 2. How many 11s are there in 22? And the answer is 2. And then how many 11s are there in 0, which is 0? And how many 11s are there in the final 0, which is 0? So the answer to 132 divided by 0.11 is the same as saying 13,200 divided by 11, which is 1,200. And there you have it. Now, having watched me work through my examples, I'd like you to have a go at some Mr. Khan's skills check questions to see how you get on. Here are Mr. Khan's skills check questions. Please press pause and have a go at the questions on your screen, and press play when you're ready for the answers to be revealed. Here are the answers to Mr. Khan's skills check questions. Check how you have got on by marking the questions you have done. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye for now and see you again soon.